Celebrity Intensive Series. Please welcome to the stage our host, the president of Premiere, Mr. Michael David.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to introduce to you guys someone that you know very well from Disney XD. This young lady is in her second series on Disney XD. She started on a show called Mighty Meds, which many of you know, and now she is on Lab Rats Elite Force. Everybody, let's please welcome Berelc to the stage. Good to see you, young lady.
Good to see you too.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
So everyone is very excited to know about your new show. I guess you are halfway through filming season 1, correct?
Well, we filmed the entire season, but half of the episodes have aired. So our new one airs July 25th.
So what was it like being on Mighty Meds and now on Lab Rats Elite Force?
Well, on Mighty Med, I was the only girl. So I was surrounded by
girl
boys.
Power.
Which I kind of liked. Because Bradley and Jake are like my brothers. And when we went to Lab Rats Elite Force, I finally got another girl co-star. And I think you guys know who Kelly Berglund is, right? So,
yes.
Yes. And she was my best friend before we started Lab Rats Elite Force. So it was nice to be on a show with my brothers and also my best friend.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about your social media, because I see that you've got like almost a million people.
Almost, very close,
like
almost
you're
there.
like that far away from like 1 million
close.
people. That's unbelievable on Instagram. Like, how long have you had your Instagram account?
I don't even know. I think since like middle school.
So like years, okay?
Yeah.
And then when did you see it like really start to fly?
When the first episode of Mighty Med aired, I was noticing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting up there. I'm getting close.
Because that's like really influential. Because a lot of executives, whether it be Disney XD or anybody that you audition for nowadays, they're always looking at your social media.
Oh yeah, social media is very, very, very powerful nowadays.
Yeah, because they're saying, well, she's a good actress, but she has 1 million followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it kind of works that way nowadays. So guys, the point I'm making is that oftentimes, and we're going to talk about this at the industry panel tomorrow, but a lot of actors that get hired into roles nowadays are not necessarily the best trained actor or the best actor that has the best performance per se.
Yeah.
A lot of times they will hire actors simply because of their followers nowadays, and that carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, well, they do it because they obviously want people to see the show or the movie that actor is in, and if they have a lot of followers, they can tell those followers to go and watch that movie or that TV show.
How did you start acting? How did it start for you?
How did I start acting? Well, I'm from Wisconsin, and I first started with modeling, and I was actually walking around the mall with my family, and they just had like a booth. This modeling agency had a booth, and they were auditioning kids, and they asked me and my sister to come up and audition. So I did, and then I started modeling, but then I became a little more curious, and I wanted to do a lot more than just, smile in front of a camera, and so my agency told me that if I want to try acting, to go out to LA, and I did. I auditioned for a show called Ant Farm, which is what my co-star Jake was on, and the casting director for that show sent my headshot to one of the senior VPs of Disney, and I had a general meeting with them. So that's kind of how I started with acting. I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 13, 14, yeah.
And what was it like going to have a general meeting with Disney?
Well,
sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah, it is. I still go to that building and I feel very intimidated. But I was a little nervous, and then I went in the room and I was just talking, and I'm good at talking. I can talk a little bit, and they were very nice, and we just sat there for hours just talking, and they were great, and yeah, then I booked Mighty Med.
So how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 little sisters. Yeah.
Okay. So have they gotten to meet all the stars that they wanted to meet because their big sister's a Disney star?
Yeah, basically. Well, it's funny because like I'll have like my friends come to my house and it'll be like Peyton Meyer or like Peyton List or Carnbar, and you know they come in and because they know them so well, they're like, yeah, hey guys, what's up?
So Spencer List is somebody that we know very well, who's a big part of the Premiere family.
I just saw Spencer. We were at the Selena Gomez concert.
There you go. And we were just together with Spencer and Peyton up in Vancouver about a week or so ago. And Spencer's career is really starting to take off. He's done something on Bunked and all of that, and he's grown like 10 feet. And
he's
like,
so tall.
He's so
I have
tall.
to be like, hey, Spencer,
what's going on, dude? So with that community of actors, you guys are all like buddies. I think that that's something that the kids would really be interested in, knowing kind of like how the relationships go, because you guys are obviously actors and characters on different shows, but I think the kids would really like to know, like, how long have you known Peyton Meyer? Peyton Meyer obviously is from Girl Meets World, and Peyton's been to this program. So tell the kids a little fun backstory, stuff like that. Like, how long have you known him, and where'd you meet him, and stuff like that?
I met Peyton, it was right before he started filming Girl Meets World, and I met him through Sabrina Carpenter, actually. She invited me to go to Six Flags, and she also invited him, so that's when I first met him. And also, we filmed Mighty Med right next to Girl Meets World. And then we switched studios when we filmed Lab Rats Elite Force. But yeah, that's how I met Peyton. He's one of my good friends, and he's a great guy. So.
He is. And then as far as screen testing for Mighty Meds, what was that process like? Did you have like several rounds of auditions before you got the part?
Well, actually, I screwed up my first audition because I got the script the night before and I just didn't really have time to prepare it. But the casting director saw that I had gymnastics on my resume. So she was like, okay, I want you to go out and I want you to come back tomorrow. I want you to go and get it more prepared and then come back. So I came back and then did the audition again. And then they gave me a call back. And then they asked me to test, and like a network test, like it's pretty scary because you go in this room and there's like 20 people in the room and it's just you and you're just reading with a casting assistant. And actually when I tested for Mighty Med, that's when I first met Jake and Bradley, and I read one scene with them, and then I did another scene, but they didn't read with me. But yeah, that's when I first met them.
And then after you screen tested, what was the process of knowing you got the gig?
I waited for I think like 2 or 3 days because like they have you like sign like a contract, and basically they have to tell you have within 10 days to know for them to tell you. And so on like the second or third day, me and my mom were in the car and my agent calls me and told me that I booked it. And me and my mom were freaking out. She had to pull over because like she was almost gonna like crash because we were so excited. So yeah, that's when but it doesn't always sometimes it takes longer. Like sometimes it even takes longer than 10 days because I screen tested for Girl Meets World. And for the longest time.
What part did you screen test for?
I went for Maya.
Okay.
Yeah, I went for Maya. But at first, I auditioned for Riley. And in the auditioning room, Michael Jacobs was like, I want you to read Maya. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is like, I haven't read this at all, so it's like a cold read. And then the next day, or after I read it, he was like, okay, I want you to come back tomorrow and I want you to read Riley and Maya. So I had to read both of them.
Wow, that's a good story.
Yeah, so...
And what was the process of creating Lab Rats Elite Force? Like, how did that come to be?
Well, they called us and said that they were thinking of merging Lab Rats and Mighty Med together. And when I heard that, I was like, whoa, like, is this really gonna happen? Because everyone on Lab Rats is a lot older and has been on Disney a lot longer than I have, and same thing with Bradley and Jake. So I was very curious on whether everyone was gonna say yes to it. And so it was a long process. And we just kept going back and forth with of contracts and all that. And then finally they were like, okay, yeah, we're actually gonna do this. And William and Kelly came onto it, and then it was me, Jake, and Bradley. So.
I mean, it's such a powerful cast.
Yes.
Because it's a very well-known cast, and it's a cast that can really carry, because there aren't...
It's a good-looking cast, too.
What's that?
It's a good-looking cast, too.
It is a great-looking cast. And there aren't that many XD shows in that format.
No, there's not, yeah.
So it's kind of a traditional Disney Channel type of show on Disney XD in a way.
But it's also never been done, because they've done crossovers like for episodes on Disney, but they've never done a crossover show. So it was fun to like be that first like powerful like group of people to do that.
And they're promoting it really well. And the
Yeah.
show seems to be doing really well. So you finished all of season 1.
Yes.
Is there anything that the audience can know about season 1? Anything you can tell us without telling us too much?
Well, the newest episode that's going to be airing is an Olympic episode, so that'll be fun for you guys to see. But there's a lot of new powers that come into play. Some cast members get new powers and things like that, and there's new villains. And we have some cool guest stars coming in. So.
Guest stars, that's really good, because I know a lot of the actors that I've met here through Premiere have talked about their favorite celebrity.
Favorite celebrity.
Like Sky told me that she got to meet Mr. and Mrs. Obama. She got to meet Ben Affleck, like people like that. Do you have like a favorite guest star or a favorite person that's come to set that you're like, I love that person?
A favorite like celebrity that I've met like in general was actually Schmidt from New Girl, or Max Greenfield. I flipped out when I first met him, because New Girl is like one of my favorite shows. And me and Peyton actually met him together because we were at an event, and he was there, and like I was just geeking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry I'm not like this, but like I watched your show, and like I watched it in Mammoth for the first time, and then yeah, I was totally fangirling.
So you're fanning, and then you've got people that are fanning you, and then you've got all this stuff going on. So how do you deal with it? How do you deal with that attention? Because I think you're an extremely well adjusted celebrity and a really smart young lady. Tell me some of the lessons, or is it just come natural to you, or were there moments where you're like, I got to deal with this, I got to get better at this or better at that, or is it just natural to you to deal with kids wanting autographs and the attention and all that?
Well, growing up, I'm the first grandchild, and so growing up, I was always surrounded by adults, and actually, my friends a lot of them are older than me. So I think just growing up like that and kind of made me mature and made it easy for me to talk to people. So when I do see kids, like I embrace it. And also I have 3 little sisters too, so I'm used to like being around kids. But I mean, I love meeting kids, and I love talking to kids, and I embrace it, you know, and I see it as like an inspiration to me. And I also look at it as like, you know, I have people looking up to me. So, I mean, sometimes it is hard, because sometimes if I want to, like, sometimes think some things that I've posted on social media, I'm like, ooh, I need to delete that. Maybe I shouldn't have posted that. Nothing too bad, obviously, but, you know, just some things I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to just remove that. So that part is a little hard.
Did Disney XD do a Disney 101 with you?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we did. I totally forgot that we did do Disney 101 meetings. Yeah. And they just kind of, it was so long ago, but they just kind of like give you like a brief discussion. Well, it wasn't brief. It was a discussion. Just kind of like, you know, saying what we should post, what we shouldn't, and like just helping us, just remind us what kind of age group is looking at us and what is appropriate to post and what isn't, and just like, you know, general safety tips and stuff like that too.
Because it seems like the social channel that's appropriate for your age is Instagram.
Yes.
Like Instagram is what's happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like Facebook is like for dads and grandparents, right?
But yeah, Facebook. I'm only on Facebook for like my family.
Yeah.
So that's
what else besides Instagram is cool?
Right now, I guess I would say Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat, or like Musically. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
Music. I don't
These
have a
kids
Musically
love it.
account, but my sister has it, and she flips out over it. Yeah.
And with all of the base that you have with your career, I just think you're going to really go places.
Thank you.
What do you see kind of next for yourself? Do you have anything like, I want to get into film, or I want to do a situation comedy on a different network, or what are you looking at in the future?
I would really love to do films. I would love to do, like, a dream job would be to do like an action film, or you know, some kind of Marvel superhero or something like that. That's like dream, because I do my own stunts on the show because I used to be a gymnast. So
very cool.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do you know that J.J. Toda booked the new Spider-Man film?
He did?
Yes.
Oh, congrats, JJ.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
He booked Spider-Man. We're going to have a celebrity coming this week, guys, that you've seen in your material, J.J. Toda. And he booked the new Marvel franchise, the Spider-Man Homecoming. So
that's awesome.
You've got all of these really great actors. Like JJ's been coming to this program for like 2 years. I put you in the same category. I really think that you could do that kind of stuff.
Thank
and
you.
I think if your mind is on it, anything's achievable. What about words of inspiration, I guess, for the kids? Because you obviously came from the background that you just mentioned. You really have to have a belief in yourself to get to where you are.
Yeah, you definitely need to. I guess my advice is to just believe in yourself and don't forget where you came from and don't forget who you are, because this industry is great and it's a lot of fun, but also it can change people and sometimes not in the best way. So that's my advice, just always believe in yourself no matter what people tell you and no matter what people try to do. It's just, as long as you believe in yourself, like, then you can do anything. You can accomplish any goal that you want, and just never ever forget, you know, where you came from and who you are.
Have you seen parents make colossal mistakes that you would want to advise them not to make? Like maybe you're, like I was just talking to Hayden Byerly and he's like, yeah, my mom was kind of peeking at the door and blew an audition for me, like a funny story. Has your mom ever done that to you?
No. Oh my gosh, no. I would be very, very angry at her if she did. No, my mom, I'm very lucky because my parents are very, very cool, and I think you know, I've grown up with a really, really great family. I mean, I'm not saying anyone here is a bad family. I've grown up with a really great family who keep me grounded, and if I were to ever step out of line, I know that they would smack me on the head and be like, hey, Paris, get it together. But no, my mom, she's great. She's never done anything crazy. But I guess my advice to a parent is to just don't get too caught up in like this industry. I mean, I guess I kind of said that already, but I mean, even though like for a child like who is an actor, like yes, it's easy to do that, but it's also easy for a parent to do that too, or become a stage mom or a stage dad. And you know, just make sure that your kid is having fun too, because if they're not having it, because I do this because I'm passionate about it and it's fun for me. And if your child isn't having fun, then find something else that they're really passionate about, because this industry is hard and it is a lot of work, but it's worth it. But make sure that they are passionate about it.
Peyton Meyer told me that he had all of these no's before he had his first yes.
Yeah.
Like he worked really hard at it. Did you have a lot of no's before your first yes?
Yeah, I did. I mean, Girl Meets World was one, and I cried because I was like, oh my God, I didn't book it, and like it was like my first screen test too. So yeah, I had no's, and I mean, I was very lucky because I did book something very, very quickly, and normally it doesn't happen like that. Like that was like winning the lottery. It was my first pilot season, and I booked a show. Like it was just right timing and kind of luck, but it doesn't. But I did have no's, and I still get no's now. Like there are things I audition for now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such a great audition. I really think I did a good job, and then I don't hear anything back.
Womp womp womp.
Exactly. Or sometimes like they'll say, okay, yeah, they pinned you, like you're on hold, and then they come back and they're like, oh, they went a different direction, and you're like,
thanks a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, there are definitely no's, but just like I said before, never give up, because you're always going to get no's.
Well, I think it has to be a tremendous accomplishment for you and a compliment to you to be amongst a very small group of people screen testing for Girl Meets World. I mean, that's a really small. I mean, how many other girls were there?
Oh my gosh, there was maybe like 8 or 10 of us. That's when I first met Sabrina, actually. Was for testing for a Girl Meets World.
So were you reading opposite Sabrina? For the
Yeah, because I actually did a what do they call that? It's when you a chemistry read with her, and she was Riley and I was Maya, and that was when I first met her. She had red hair because she did a movie where she had to dye her hair, and then it switched. So yeah, it was a very interesting testing, but it was fun. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today, guys. Let's thank Paris for being with us.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be here.
And Paris is going to work with each of you kids. Drew is going to work with you guys on coordinating everything. Paris, thanks again.
Thank you.
You're
so
awesome,
much.
girl.
Thank
Great
you.
stuff.
Thank you.
Follow me back.
Thank you, Paris and Michael.